Hi, thanks for tuning in to High on Horror. I'm Drew.
And I'm John. This episode and every future episode is dedicated to the horror hounds and smokers out there who want to expand their knowledge of the genre and have a good time.
Today's mini episode is all about Nope. We're going to review it. We've waited several weeks before we reviewed it to give you guys, some time to see it because we're going to spoil it today on High on Horror. Interviews, reviews, and the latest news all rolled into one. All right, John, what are we smoking this week?
Got some of that Guptilla.
Guptilla?
We've had that before. It's about 15% THC.
Okay.
Flavor and aromas is pepper. Top effect is happy. I got to say, I'm going to read, if you have your leafly.com up, you can follow along at home. Guptilla is a potent indica-dominant crossbred by Colorado Seed Inc.
Dominant.
With the glittering trichome-laden foliage of Gorilla Glue No. 4 intermixed with the Doctor of Dankness Gupta Kush.
Doctor of Dankness.
This strain raises cushy, full-bodied indica effects to a level few have the privilege of enjoying.
Few.
Anticipate pungent floral and earthy overtones with pronounced cerebral headiness. Whoever wrote this is very wordy. It's like if Stephen King wrote a word review.
They probably made the strain. They wanted to beef that shit up.
But the pronounced cerebral headiness that is anchored to the earth by the physical weight this strain places on the limbs. Enjoy this strain at the end of the day as its effects are very sedating. I mean, sounds like this. We're just going to fall asleep mid-podcast.
Yeah, we're going to finish. We're going to fall asleep
before
we finish this Nope review.
The feelings. The first one says aroused.
Nah, man.
Happy,
go
euphoric, and the flavors are pepper, grape, and orange. 28% say it helps with stress and anxiety, and 21% with pain.
Well, I mean, that was very descriptive.
I mean, Leafly, very, very wordy.
We should make a checklist and then hit it and then go through the checklist. Do we taste the orange? Do we smell this? Do we smell that? That was very descriptive.
Yeah, like a fucking wine person. What a sommelier?
Yeah, right. You're gonna be grinded weed up with your toes instead of squashing berries with your feet. Like they do for wine.
Sommelier's just a person that tastes wine.
I know, I know, but you mentioned wine,
stomping nugs?
And then I got the idea about somebody trying to squash nugs with their toes, where the people do berries for wine. I was like, would you, if you found out that there was the primest of best weed in the world, but it's just people in their bare callous feet just stomping on it?
Callous feet.
Would you be, would it be a weed you'd partake in?
I mean, yeah, probably. But I mean, I don't see how stomping it with their feet is going to make it any better.
Why do you gotta call me out, man? I had a good point.
I don't know you did.
All right, well.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, let's get on with the topic of today. Nope. Not of planet Earth. That was a theory that surfaced online, and I like it, but Jordan Peele debunked it, saying that the title of the movie is more of a reflection on people's reaction when they see something fucked up or scary. They see something, they go, nope, I'm out. That type of thing.
I had not heard that theory.
Yeah, I thought it sounded cool, but he definitely debunked it. Nope does not stand for not of planet Earth. But as a matter of fact, Jordan Peele has said that this movie is an invitation to people who don't like horror movies to acknowledge them and to say, you can take this. But really, this film at its heart is about human addiction. Quote, human addiction to spectacle and what happens when money becomes involved. End quote. And Jordan Peele also said that this movie was meant to undo Hollywood's twisted perspective of the Wild West, mainly the erasure of the black cowboy. John, take us through the movie.
All right. Nope is a 2022 American science fiction horror film. I almost kind of want to say, I guess it really doesn't fit the true definition of it, but like a Western horror almost.
Yeah.
But it's not really a Western. It's just set in the West.
Definitely has a Western feel for sure.
It's written, directed, and produced by Jordan Peele under his Monkey Paw Productions banner. It stars Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, Stephen Yoon, and Michael Wincott, along with Brandon Pereira, and it follows 2 horse-owning siblings who attempt to capture evidence of an unidentified flying object. So we start, it's 1998, The Big Lebowski's just been released. That has nothing to do with this film, I just wanted to mention The Big Lebowski since that was the year.
Oh, right, but you're going to give me shit for mentioning Godzilla.
I mean, you probably got way more chances to bring up Godzilla than I do this.
Fair.
So we start on a sound stage for a show we learn is later called Gordy's Home. A chimpanzee animal actor fatally attacks several of its co-stars after being startled by the pop of a balloon.
Man, that chimp be hammer-fisted motherfuckers.
Yeah, he violent. But the people there are some wusses, though. Like, he ain't even full grown.
I know, but he bloody as hell. Bloody as hell. He's straight just UFC and motherfuckers.
He did kind of look like my boy Forrest Griffin. So now we go to present day. Ranch owner Otis Haywood Sr., played by the legendary Keith David. I mean, I'm still mad I didn't get to meet him at Monster Mania. He wasn't supposed to be a guest. He filled in last minute for Devon Sawa. And whatever happened with Kane Hodder, he ended up being like late by an hour and a half. And the whole time I'm like, man, I could be going over there and like getting him to sign something. But I'm second in this line, so I don't want to lose my spot.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, he does enough conventions. I figure I'll eventually get to him.
Yeah, with any luck. Lance Hendrickson just came back around, so you know, it's good. The legends are still circulating. But yeah, I told the story before on the podcast. I didn't meet Keith David myself yet, but I rode the elevator with him, and he like kind of played with my son with his Rambo toy for a minute. I thought it was super cool. As soon as he walks off the elevator, my wife, who we all know isn't as initiated into some most horror movies as like we are, as soon as he walked off the elevator, she goes, "Was that the dude from The Thing?" And I was like, "Yes." And she goes, "That's so cool."
Child.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, and you talk about iconic voices. That's one that doesn't get brought up, but like, even before I could clearly see him and I heard him talking, I'm like, oh, that's Keith David.
Yeah.
Like, you recognize his voice. He also does. He's also the president on Rick and Morty.
I think he did the voice in Gargoyles as well.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So he trains and handles horses for film and television production. One day they're training some horses and like shit just starts falling out of the sky. Otis Jr., played by Daniel Kaluuya, sees his father Otis still on the horse walking away, and then he kind of just slumps over and falls over. Otis took a fucking quarter through the eye. Like, that's a pretty rough way.
At first, you don't really, kind of see what happens, and then you see the autopsy picture, and you're like, oh, damn. Like, and the shit was lodged in his brain, too, on the x-ray. It was, like, still fucking stuck in his head. Wild.
Yeah, and, like, you kind of know something's up when the horse is just kind of, like, walking away.
Yeah.
And he's, like, calling him. You're like, oh, he gonna fall off any second.
Yeah. Yeah. It was short-lived.
So his children, Otis Jr., goes by OJ, and Emerald M. Haywood, played by Keke Palmer, inherit the ranch. OJ tries to keep the business going and maintain his father's legacy, while M seeks fame and fortune in Hollywood. And, like, when they're there and he's going through the little spiel, you can tell, like, OJ's not meant to be the person, like his father was, like, front and center, making the presentation.
Yeah. Yep.
He's doing he's trying to keep the actors from, like, messing with the horse, but, like, he just doesn't have that commanding presence.
Yeah.
His sister comes in, just, like, nails the presentation, but, like, talks about all her fucking side projects.
She's good with words. She exaggerates a lot. She's good with,
And it was funny. I was going to say, it's funny. They showed plate 626, which is, like, the first motion picture. And when it happened, I leaned over to Nicole and I was like, I don't know. I was like, in case you didn't know, like, that's the first ever motion picture. And then, like, 20 seconds later, they go ahead and say it. I was like, I could have just waited, let them say it. But, yeah.
That always happens. That type of shit always happens.
There's a jockey on a horse, and it was a bunch of still photos put together, and it's the first motion picture. It's known as plate 626. This dude's name is Edward, but it's I gotta think it's Edward, but the way it's spelled, Eadweard, Edward.
Yeah.
Edward Muybridge's Animal Locomotion series of photographs. They claim that the jockey in the photo was their ancestor, their great-great-great-great-grandfather. And 6 months later, while filming a commercial with a prominent cinematographer, Antlers Holst, one of the horses freaks out when the crew startles it, and the Haywoods are fired from the project. I mean, he kept telling them not to go behind the horse, and, like, they put a fucking mirror right in front of the horse. And, like, I mean, I'm well aware before this movie that you're not supposed to stand behind a horse because they'll kick the fuck out of you.
Right.
Like,
Antlers Holst, though, he played Top Dollar in The Crow. He was the main villain in The Crow, like the leader of the gangsters, and he's a good actor. He's in, like, he kind of pops up here and there. He has that voice. He always kind of grunts in between every word, like, gonna have to go out there and get it, and then we'll see what happens.
Triple H.
But yeah, it was cool to see him on screen again.
The ranch's financial woes have forced OJ to sell horses to Ricky Jupe Park.
Jupe?
Played by Steven Yeun. I mean, I would say his only claim to fame is Glenn at this point.
Glenn from The Walking Dead?
He was in something
Walking
else.
Dead.
I can't remember. I'm probably forget a couple of his movies being a dick to this guy's career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, he
rude.
operates near Jupiter's Claim, a small western theme park where he exploits his story of Gordy's home massacre because he was the kid on the set, and we'll get to a little bit more about that. But he really suppresses his emotions about from his activities of Gordy and really uses it to make money. And he offers to buy the ranch from the Haywoods, an offer which M encourages OJ to accept because she don't want to do shit with the fucking horse farm. It's very clear.
Steven Yeun, he said that working with Jordan Peele was like a blast, and that he enjoyed it because it was a collaborative experience. So it was pretty cool that he felt he had a lot of freedom in that role, and that he got to like kind of change a few things that might not have been in the script. So that's pretty cool. You know, like Jordan Peele seems to be very actor friendly, and that's good when you're making good movies. Makes people really want to be in your shit.
Yeah, I mean there are some directors, few and far between, that are just tyrants and it ends up working for them. But
Yeah.
that night the Haywoods notice the electricity keeps going on and off in their house. Horses are vanishing and violently reacting to just something going on. They discover it's a unidentified flying object, or UAPs.
Yeah.
Which in the movie, he says nobody knows what the fuck that means. I don't know if you heard me. I leaned over to Nicole. It's like unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like it has a name. Like
Yep.
he keeps talking about ancient aliens, but anyway. They have a UFO-shaped like flying saucer. It's been devouring their horses and then spitting out stuff that isn't edible. And yeah, because at first, like in the beginning there with his dad, you see a fucking set of keys stuck in the horse's leg.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Belting that shit out.
Yeah, it's just spitting out anything that isn't edible, and which caused their father's death. And looking for wealth and fame, OJ and M decide to document the evidence of the UFO. And yeah, I think we'll stop here for the non-spoilers. I just want to say I think Jordan Peele has another solid movie. I've seen some people say that it was too slow. I disagree with that, and you disagree with me on this. I feel like there's some parts, like I said with Us, that went a little too long, but I didn't think the movie was slow. Daniel Kaluuya, he's solid in like everything he's done with Jordan Peele, and really anything I've seen him in. He's
making a good name for
he's
himself.
a phenomenal actor. He just keeps getting better. Even though it's a limited role, Keith David has a strong presence.
It's great to see him.
Yeah, and I was going to say, it's always nice seeing him in a horror film. Well, any film at all, but especially a horror film.
Right.
The effects are solid. And even if you don't even take in the themes of the film of spectacle and exploitation, it's still good as just a straight-up horror movie.
Yeah.
I'd give it a 7.8 out of 10. I would put it number 2. I still like Get Out as my favorite Jordan Peele film.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that this one is more like I get what I don't agree with what you're saying. I'm not shitting on your opinion about it being like slow at parts because I feel that like the whole last
I don't think it's slow at parts. I just thought, I guess maybe you could argue. I mean the same thing. I don't mean slow as in the way people are saying that it takes forever for something to happen. I feel like there's good pacing with that. Stuff does happen. I just think that maybe the movie could have been a little bit shorter.
Okay.
I don't think it was slow.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, because we're not getting into spoilers yet, but I will drop this. Like the last hour of the movie is just like straight UFO action. So I was like, I really thought that the pace was well. I liked it, but I think that of his movies, with Us being kind of twisted. Like a twisted story, and then with Get Out kind of being like almost like it's the same thing, more of like a plot twist type of movie. This was a straightforward horror movie, and I think this might be like his most like his purest horror movie. Like of all his horror movies, this is the most straight purest horror movie he's done. It's straight to the point. There's screaming, tense moments, like there's some blood curdling screams during some scenes where like you're just like this is like really uncomfortable. Like I won't get there yet, but
I was gonna say. I would say more like Us was more of a like, oh man, what's going to happen? Whereas this was just more of like, it's kind of like that, but not on that like level of like, I'm on hyper alert. Like I just feel like it's like, what's going on with this?
Yeah, it's like you're just in time with it. Yeah, and like in like real time, you mean?
Yeah.
Where
I feel like Us, every time stuff was going on, you just felt tense because like something was going to pop up.
Yeah, and I thought that this was another, his movies all tend to be original. Like I've heard people say he's not original, and I mean, if name me a completely original idea, everything's derivative of something, but nothing that he's done is
the
super
original
derivative.
Filmmakers. But then if they probably took stuff
right.
from books and other sources.
But name me a movie that's like identical. Like these movies, his movies might be inspired by other things, but name me other movies that are like his. Like everybody borrows from something, and this is definitely like a unique UFO movie, an alien movie. Haven't seen something like this in a while. The last movie that I can, and this wasn't a good movie, but the last movie that I can remember seeing that was in the alien genre that was different like this, that was totally kind of like, until it took me a little aback, was Independence Day. I liked that one, but the other one was The Arrival with Charlie Sheen. Those movies, the way they do aliens, like I haven't been kind of the alien. I think it has like this is the most this has reinvigorated the whole alien thing the way that Independence Day did and The Arrival did back then. Like it's a totally different look at it, and it's a solid movie. The Arrival sucked, but the aliens were cool.
Oh man, I love The Arrival.
I liked the way that they had them fawn legs
theaters.
with their legs. How they kind of had
like the chicken legs.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw that in theaters, and then I remember, like, it was on, like, one of the premium channels one summer as a kid, like, afterwards, and I watched it, like, a whole bunch of stuff.
That scene when Charlie Sheen's sweating in the elevator, when you first see it, until you're not like, oh, shit.
That and, was it the bathtub, where it's just, like, the whole, like, building just collapses?
Yeah,
I think it was, like, Mexico. I haven't seen it in years. I bought it on Vudu, and I keep meaning to rewatch it, because I want to make Nicole watch it. I feel like she would probably like it.
Yeah, she probably would. But yeah, I think this is a straight up horror movie. This in regards to like it's probably the scariest movie he's done in regards to actually being scared. I don't think that Us or Get Out were actually scary. This one actually is a little. I would say it's more scary. I'd say it's the scariest movie he's done. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I mean I can't really argue. I gave it a 7.8 with yours rounded up to be the same thing. So. Yep. Are you good for non-spoilers?
Yeah, I'm good for non-spoilers. Right. We can get into it now.
All right, Josh, let's get in the zone. Auto zone.
Get in the zone. Auto zone.
All right. Well, I don't know what is it going on with movies here, but Fry's electronic employee, Angel Torres, I feel like my favorite characters we end up talking about are introduced after like we get to the spoiler section. But Angel was my favorite character.
By far the best character. That's funny you thought that. You never told me that, so that's perfect.
He's played by Brandon Perea, and he ends up setting up the surveillance cameras for the Haywoods. And like he kind of forces his way into this situation because he's like into UFOs, and he just like they keep telling him like no, and he just like keeps trying to force himself into this situation. Electrical interference from the UFO and a praying mantis on one of the cameras prevent them from getting clear footage. But Angel notices a nearby cloud that never moves. They end up figuring that's the UFO's hiding place, like during the day. Because a little bit before this, we kind of see it going through the clouds at night. Yep. But when we cut back to Jupe, he's reminiscing about Gordy's place accident, and this is where we get like more background on it. He hid under the table while Gordy beat the fuck out of the co-stars. And like I said, the dude that played the father, like he walked into the room like
Yeah.
That was the one weird thing, is how that happened, is like, it made it almost seem like he left the room, or maybe he was hiding somewhere.
Right.
But he came back, and this man did nothing to try to help himself. He just like ran. Like,
yeah.
He could have like tried to flip
he yelled
table.
a couple times. And
he yelled, "Gordy, now!"
Did so much, man.
Dude, Jupe is hiding under the table. Jupe? He's unharmed, but he's fucked up mentally from this experience. The chimp he finds Jupe, and he extends his hand for a fist bump like they do in the show, and then he has his head fucking blown up when he's shot dead by the authorities. That shit, oh man, he just got sprayed with blood on that.
Dude, when he, when Gordy fucking, looks at Jupe, when, like, Jupe's under the table, and Gordy's, like, we're kind of like kind of panting or whatever and catching his breath, and you see his head turn and he sees Jupe under the table. My thought was like, oh damn, is this movie gonna go there? Like, is this gonna get, it doesn't go as dark as I thought it was going to, like you said. Instead he goes for a fist bump.
Well, he's gonna be okay, but I didn't know if something was gonna happen or he was gonna try to attack him.
Yeah, like 28 days later
12 monkeys. They're not actual monkeys in that movie. Anyway.
Moving on.
We're moving on here. So yeah, he has his head fucking just eviscerated. And Jupe introduces a live show in Jupiter's claim and plans to use horses as bait to lure out the UFO, which he's been feeding the Haywood's horses for months. That's fucked up, because he's just been buying all the Haywood's horses. And he even told him there would be a path to repayment.
Yep.
To OJ, and he wants to talk to him about that. But I don't know how that's going to work. Anyway, the UFO arrives and it devours Jupe and the entire audience as well. And OJ figures out that the UFO is not a spaceship but a predator. That really fucking like changed shit when you see him like get sucked up and they're getting like eaten like whole families. I was like, damn, that's a pretty good twist. You go into this just thinking it's a straight like alien movie,
right?
And I guess in a way it's an alien,
but it's reinvigorating it, kind of like now it's like the UFO is the alien. It's kind of like Orca from Godzilla.
Using the same methods he used to break and train horses, OJ believes he can influence the creature's behavior and capture footage of it without being killed. Which, because he ends up spitting. They figure out about him spitting back the flags and stuff. So he uses that when the creature chases him later. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And they dubbed the creature Jean Jacket. Earlier in the film, M said she was promised a horse as a kid named Jean Jacket, but it ended up being used for a TV show. And so they decided to name the creature that, and the Haywoods decide to hire Antlers Holst, played by Michael Wincott, for assistance. He initially refuses, but eventually reconsiders after hearing about the Jupiter Claims incident.
I want to stop you right there and go back for a second. We were talking about Angel and how he was their favorite character. I thought I wanted to drop this knowledge nug here. Tell me that this isn't a great list of movies. When Angel found out that he got the role in the film, Jordan Peele sent actor Brandon Perea a list of films to watch to get prepared for the role of Angel in Nope. And that list was Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jaws, No Country for Old Men, Alien, and 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's a pretty good list.
I mean, that's like good homework. If I'm like, if this is the type of homework I got to do, I got the type of job I want.
Right? Now, to circumvent Jean Jacket's effect on electronics, Holst brings in a hand crank film camera to capture the footage. He's just out here cranking it. With Angel, the group work out a plan to bait out Jean Jacket and watch a field of wacky waving inflatable
the tongue twister.
It's a tongue twister, but the fucking Family Guy wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
There you go.
Got it.
Go.
Finally got it.
Can you do it again?
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna move on. They work out their plan. They got the scatter tube men props for electronical malfunctions. That way they can find out where it's at, because you just see them dropping. A TMZ reporter ends up showing up and trespasses onto the field and fucks the whole plan up. And the best part is Angel's like, oh man, what's going to happen when he shuts off an electrical bike going 60 miles an hour. And that body goes fucking flying.
The sound
And
effect.
then the best part is he was like, I should go help him, basically. And Angel's like, nah, there's no way he survived that. And you just hear him start screaming.
He got fucked up, though, for real.
He gets devoured by Jean Jacket as well, while begging OJ to film the event. Though Holmes captures footage of Jean Jacket, he lets himself be eaten along with his camera, forcing the remaining 3 to flee. That was a crazy shot of through his camera as it's being sucked up.
Yeah.
Got that POV. Angel survives an attack from Jean Jacket by being wrapped in a tarp and barbed wire. He spits him right back out, causing the creature to turn from a saucer shape into a jellyfish type form.
Yeah.
And
or a sheet, like your fiance said.
Yeah,
it looks like
a bed sheet.
Kind of like a bed. It kind of looked like Spawn's cape. It reminded a very billowing. It kind of looked
white.
like a white Spawn's cape. Think of it like that, just floating through the sky. Very crazy. Kind of almost looked like an alien queen's head too. Did you see the shape of it? I feel like there might have been some sort of homage in there.
Had that weird green mouth that kept replicating.
Yeah, it was like green Jello squares.
OJ lures Jean Jacket away from M while she uses the motorcycle to rush to Jupiter's claim. There, she untethers the theme park's large helium balloon mascot. Kind of looked like Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah, right, from Austin Powers.
Well, I mean, this was a real restaurant.
What was the one in Austin Powers?
It was a Bob's Big Boy.
Okay.
But there was, the actual restaurant. Jean Jacket attempts to attempts to feed on the balloon while M uses the attraction's analog camera, prints out these plates.
Yeah.
And because of all the people that had bought coins, got to chest it and all the coins spit back out.
Just free arcade money.
Right? She's just cranking out photos.
Cranking again. There it is.
Anyway, before the balloon explodes, and it seems like it kills the creature, with the picture as proof of the creature's existence, and reporters arriving nearby, M sees OJ outside the park on his horse, having survived his encounter with Jean Jacket. I gotta say, that last plate, those other plates popped right out. That one took a fucking minute.
Yeah, I know. But I do like how at the end, how she had her eyes closed and it kind of the music was playing. And, I thought that was going to be the end of the movie. She was just happy to have survived, but she opens her eyes and you see that she sees, her brother standing there. And you're just like, oh shit, that's cool. He survived. They made it. Hauling ass on that horse.
Yeah.
I liked him too, though. I liked his character. I liked how he was just blue collar, man of few words. I liked this character a lot. So I was when he was ready to sacrifice himself, I thought fucking figures. Those are the dudes that always have to bite the big one.
And it's also funny because you talk about actors that have worked with directors multiple times, and it's usually the same character. Daniel Kaluuya is playing different types of characters in Jordan Peele movies, and they're all working.
That's true.
So, I guess we can, I don't have anything else really more to say about that. I feel like we covered everything.
Yeah, if you listeners out there, want to talk about it, message us and, we'll...
hit us up.
We'll have we'll answer some questions about it on our next episode. We'd love to hear from you. And, Jordan Peele seems to draw a lot of attraction. There's the people that love him, the people that don't get him, and then there's those that just shit on him because he's popular and just want to have something to shit on. Regardless of which category you fall into, write into us if you want to talk about it, whatever. We love hearing from you. We love talking movies with you guys. So, reach out if you have any other questions about anything as well. We need some PPA questions.
PPA.
Puff Puff ask.
Thanks to all the horror hounds and smokers out there for tuning in. Thank you to myself for being on. Keep up with our social media. We'll keep you updated on our next episode. Follow us at High on Horror 420, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can always email us at highonhorror420@gmail.com. You can go to our website, highonhorror.com. You can sign up for our newsletter and get our latest episodes and guest announcements sent directly to your inbox. I don't think I got anything else. I think that about wrap her up. Catch you later.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.